The Barrett family comes from a line of African Americans who were in Texas that were enslaved and freed. Unlike many others, I am lucky to have documented and preserved information regarding my family's legacy. I currently have two books with me, titled East of the River and Harrison Barrett, a biography, which focuses on how they came to Texas and the story of my ancestor Harrison, which is my 3 times great-grandfather. Both books were written by Addie Mae Barrett Dixon, which is one of his grandchildren, and her works were extremely helpful when realizing that she provided sceneses, oral accounts of things that have happened, as well as pictures and images of family members that we might not have possibly had up until this point. My name is Courtney Barrett, but this project is not going to be focusing on me specifically. We're going to look at my father's side of the family, which I get my last name Barrett from, and we're going to analyze and look into the history of how they came to Texas and how they became who they are today. Harrison Barrett was born in Texas. His parents, Simon and Eliza Barrett, are from Louisiana and Virginia, respectively. Unfortunately, we don't have much information on them at the time. But at 9, he was bought from the slave owners that owned the rest of his family, and he was taken to a different plantation to work separately from them. This was shortly before 1865, and once the Juneteenth ruling came out in 1865, he vowed that he would find his family and they would be reunited, and 10 years later, he accomplished his goal. All but one sister were all reunited and brought together in Texas, and it is believed that the sister did not go back with him because she had her own family now in Louisiana. Harrison also bought the plantation that he had lived on from the Reuben White League, which now exists as Barrett Station in Crosby, Texas, which is one of the few still standing black towns. My ancestor met his soon wife Annie Jones on the second plantation that he worked on, and they married at the age of 17 and 13, Annie Jones being 13. He married her shortly before he found the rest of his family, and they all went to live together on Barrett Settlement, aka Barrett Station today. I am grateful to have this book, East of the River, written by Addie Mae Barrett Dixon, which features several interviews of people who were related to, people who knew of, and family members of Harrison Barrett, as well as many other kin. I will currently read to you some excerpts from an interview with Augusta Barrett Payne of Barrett Station, Texas, the daughter of Harrison Barrett, which was conducted by Miss Addie Mae on August 25th, 1986. Addie Mae asked Augusta Barrett what Harrison Barrett was like, and she tells him that he was a sweet man. She also says that he was a happy person. She also describes Harrison as a light brown skinned man, kind of ginger colored, and also kind of Indian looking. She says that he had coal black hair that stood up in curls, and she also describes Annie Jones Barrett as a mean lady. She was nice though, but when you made her mad, she was mad. She describes her as having gray eyes, and she recalls a time that her and her brother Eddie Barrett would get a whooping every Christmas because they would get into stuff and search the stockings at night on Christmas. I personally find historical accounts and books like these very important to realizing how much of history is so important and near to us, especially in the Black community. Unfortunately, many families' history isn't preserved as such, and most families weren't able to actually purchase their own land when they were freed, and many struggled after Juneteenth, the Emancipation Proclamation. So I'm very thankful and very appreciative of the fact that my family members realized the need to preserve this information and to make sure that its descendants had all of the information for the future. I hope you have enjoyed this piece of my family history, but I'm going to wrap this up just with a quick glance into my family tree and how my ancestors directly connect to me. Harrison Barrett was born to Simon and Eliza, and he married Annie Jones Barrett, and they had 12 children. One of their 12 children is Eddie Barrett Sr., and he marries Sewillow Langford Barrett. They have children as well, and Eddie Barrett Jr. marries Doretha Barrett, and they end up having Charles Barrett. Charles Barrett marries Carolyn Davis Barrett, and they have 3 children. And one of those 3 children is my father, Corey Edward Barrett Sr. Him and my mother, Medina Barrett, end up having 5 children. I am one of those 5, and I have 4 other brothers, Corey Jr., Cohen Barrett, Cullen Barrett, and as well as Cooper Barrett. It's a long family line, and I'm so happy that my family values togetherness, and I'm very grateful for the togetherness that we have, and I'm very exceptionally happy with the fact that we understand to preserve our history. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it very much.